Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're kicking this off with your trim and tone sciatica circuit. These movements are going to help with any sciatic pain in that sciatic nerve area. So we're going to kick things off in just a few seconds with your pelvic tilt. So what you're going to want to do is go ahead, lie down on the ground, driving your low back into the floor, and try to essentially lift your butt off the floor without driving your hips off of the floor as well. So, like I said, placing that low back on the ground, you're going to go ahead, keep those shoulders pinned, and simply go ahead and lift your glutes off the ground a little bit, driving that low back into the ground, rotating those hips upwards. 30 seconds on the clock, here we go. Now, as you're doing this, folks, essentially you want to draw your belly button into your spine, keep this going for 20 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to roll on over into your press-ups, ladies and gentlemen. So what that means is you're going to come down to the ground, chest to the floor, pushing through those palms, getting your shoulders and ribs off the floor, and raising that chest. But the entire time, keeping those hips down on the ground. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Now, something to keep in mind when doing these exercises, you want to go ahead and make sure you are focusing on trying to get deep into these stretches, ladies and gentlemen. You don't necessarily want to go ahead and get far into them or get a lot of them done. Take your time. That's why I'm giving you 20 seconds to actually get yourself all set up, and then letting you try and ease into that stretch as best you can. Keeping this going for 3, 2, 1. We're going to roll on over into that single leg raise. Now, with a classic leg raise, you're going to want to get your butt off the ground a little bit. But this one, while you do want your shoulder blades off the ground, you want to keep your foot flexed, raise the leg, and try to keep your hips on the ground. This right here is going to stretch out your hamstring, your glute, all while activating your quad and that core. Now we're going to hit 30 seconds on one side, and then we're going to hit 30 seconds on the other side. So when you hear that ding, you're going to simply go ahead and just switch sides here. Don't bother getting to the next movement. We're going for 10 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides, flexing that foot, driving that heel out and away from the body, keeping this going for 25 more seconds. Make sure your low back is driven into the ground here. Lead with that chest and chin as you do this, and make sure you're driving that heel out. Keeping this going for 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to bring our knees in towards our chest, and we're just going to rock back and forth. This right here is your back flexion roll. It's not a sushi roll, a flexion roll. Now I'm hungry. Keeping it going for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're gonna get this going. Now remember, 15 seconds for you to get, 20 seconds for you to get into position, and then 30 seconds of you actually rocking and rolling or stretching in this position, keeping it going. After this, we've got your lying marches. You're gonna plant your heels on the ground, but let's keep this going for 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, now this one, you want to plant those heels flat on the ground, and you're going to go ahead and bring your knees towards your chest, but not necessarily making contact. Great rule of thumb is you want to keep a 90-degree bend in the knee as you raise that leg, and make sure maybe that knee comes down, or I should say back far enough that it's in line with your true waist. Not your hips, but your true waist, right under that chest. There we go, 30 seconds. Keeping the feet flexed will force you to engage your hips and lower abdominals, which also contributes to taking that pressure off of that sciatic nerve. You really want to up the intensity, try to get your shoulders off of the ground. And remember, intensity is not about speed on this, it is about contraction. So make sure you're drawing your belly button into your spine, keeping those feet flexed, driving that knee towards the chest, but not all the way to it for 3, 2, 1. All right, we got about 20 seconds to cool it down here, folks, before we jump into the next round. So feel free to grab yourself a drink of water, maybe shake out those hips a little bit. But we're gonna be right back down on the ground with your hip bridges in about 5 seconds. So what you're gonna wanna do here is go ahead, plant your low back into the ground, planting those heels, and then from here, drive your hips straight up towards the ceiling, keeping your shoulders down, contracting the glutes, and coming back down again. Now make sure everything's planted nice and firm. When you come down, you should round your back at the bottom, and maybe just tap those glutes on the floor. 30 seconds on the clock, here we go. $15 seconds left. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now what you're gonna do here is your prone cross-legged hip stretch. You're gonna plant your heel on the one knee, grab under the knee that is on the floor there, or the heel that's on the floor, you're gonna grab behind that knee and hug it to the chest. If that's too much, push on that knee, leaving that heel on the ground, and in pushing on the knee that's bent and resting on that leg, you're gonna still stretch out that IT band. But otherwise, you wanna hug it towards your chest, try to bring it to you, and round the back by drawing that belly button into that spine, maybe raising the shoulders off the floor. Now we're gonna hit both sides, so 30 seconds on this one, and then 30 seconds on the other. So in about 7 seconds, you're simply just gonna switch legs. Which foot is on that opposite knee? There we go in 2, 1, switch sides for me. 30 seconds to go. Ten more seconds of this, folks, then we've got a classic exercise coming at you. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you don't even need to get up. Just keep those feet flat. Leading with your chin, fingertips behind the ears, we've got your crunches. Now, keeping your belly button drawn into your spine and that low back flat on the ground, you want to lead with your chin out and away from you. A great rule of thumb is go ahead and imagine about a 1 foot tall line from your knees up, and wherever that line would be directly across from there is where you want to keep your gaze. So essentially a 45-degree angle from your eyes looking out in front of you. Lead with your chin, keeping this going for about 13 seconds. Two, 1. Now we've got your 90-90 stretch. So you want to plant one knee on the ground here and then sit down on that glute of that same knee, getting a 90-degree bend in that front knee as well as that rear knee, and then drop your chest as close to the knee as possible. Now, just like a couple of the other exercises, we are going to be hitting 30 seconds on each side. So you want to drop your chest as close to it as possible, maybe dropping a little bit deeper with every exhale as you breathe normally. Deep inhale, exhale, getting a little bit closer. I'll let you know when that 30 seconds is almost up, and then you can switch. Keep this going for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, push this leg out to the front, sit down on that glute. Bring your chest as close to that as possible. You got about 15 more seconds of this, folks, so try to lead with that chest, try to get it as close to that thigh or that knee as possible. Keeping this going for 7 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Alright, we've got your seated spinal rotation, so let one leg out straight in front of you. Step that other foot over it and plant the heel on the opposite side. Then you're going to go ahead and get your arm on the outside of that bent knee and use it to turn yourself. Open up that chest to the outside of that leg. Keep it right here like you're taking a senior photo. Gaze and think, have I forgotten to do anything today? Somewhat relaxing. Keep it right here for 10 more seconds. Now, just like your 90-90 stretch, we're going to hit 30 seconds on this side, 30 on the other. So let's go ahead, switch sides here. I don't want to give you my back, so I'm going to go ahead and turn around so you can see my chest again, see my face. But you also want to keep your gaze right and outside, right beyond those fingers of that hand that's planted on the ground. We're going to keep this here for about 15 more seconds, and we're going to go from there. Keep it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is all she wrote, folks. Nice job. You do this kind of exercise every day, you'll loosen those hips right up, and you'll have that sciatica will be a thing of the past. Remember, when it comes to overactive injuries like this, it is all about consistency. Make sure you are doing these every single chance you get. With that said, folks, remember, slow down if you have to, speed up if you can, but never, ever stop.